Hi everyone, in this tutorial I'm going to show you how to export images in Lightroom. Now what is exporting images? Well, right now all the images that you have in your Lightroom are all cloud-based, meaning they are stored on the cloud somewhere in the digital universe. But anytime that we turn in images for a project, we need to save them locally onto our computer to be able to attach them to Teams. So let's go ahead and select some images to export or copy onto our computers. All right, so normally in a project you are going to be turning in your best 5 images. So I'm going to go ahead and select 5 images from this random album. Now right now I have one selected, but if I hold down Control on my keyboard, I can go ahead and select 5 in total. Now you can do this with however many photos you'd like. I'm just using 5 because that's going to be a common number for us in the future. And then I'm going to hover over any of those selected images, use my mouse to right click onto one of them, and then hover over Export 5 Photos. I then get a few different options here. Now these ones down here are quick exporting settings. You can do a small JPEG, a large JPEG. You can do any previous settings you've used before in the past, or your original settings. Now because we haven't done this before, we're going to go ahead and go to Export. And I do suggest you do that every time. That way you can name things correctly. So let's go ahead and click on Export. Notice the sort of also an option. Once we're all 5 that we've selected here at the bottom. You can continue to look through them in this view, which is really needed. First, make sure your image type is JPG, which means a JPEG. This is the type of file that you turn into Teams. It is a file type that is usually rather small and can be opened on basically any computer or phone. All right, the next dimensions. If it's set to something different, go ahead and set it to full size and then the quality to 100. Now those settings should stay for the next time you export images, which is great, so you shouldn't have to touch them again. The settings that you will change for every project are down here for file naming. Normally it'll be original, but we want to change that to custom name. And the custom name for every single project is going to be your full name dash the project name. So in this case, I'm going to go ahead and put my full name, that's first and last, dash, that's located next to the 0 on the keyboard, and then whatever project name it is. So like the image that I'm looking at right now looks like a macro photo, so just for an example, I'll put macro. All right. Now if your starting number is anything but 1, you can go ahead and switch it back. Just by clicking on it, I've gone ahead and reset it back to 1, and then it shows you an example of what this will look like. Now, starting number just means that because I'm exporting all 5 of these images, they're going to get the same name, but with different numbers at the end. So for example, this one will be my name, macro 1, 2. If this looks correct, we can go ahead and click Export 5 Photos. And what usually pops up automatically is an album or a folder on your computer that Lightroom has made for you. It is located in the Pictures on your computer, and it's called Lightroom Saved Photos. This is where I usually save my images anytime I'm exporting. That way I know exactly where they are when I'm ready to turn them into Teams. And because the images are also saved onto the cloud in Lightroom, I'm not too worried if they get deleted or if my computer has to get reset or if I have to get a new computer. I will still have access to the cloud versions. So I'm going to go ahead and just select the folder that it already has open, which is Lightroom Saved Photos. And those if I open up my folder on my computer, I can show you exactly where they are by going into this PC, Pictures, and then they are located in my Lightroom Saved Photos. All 5 of them should be there. They just might take a little bit of time to load. All right, now keep in mind that some projects may require you to rename them differently, and in that case you might have to export photos individually. So the earlier example, I selected all 5 at once before I exported them and saved them onto my computer. If I needed to do them individually, it would look very similar, but I'm going to go ahead and select one, right click it, export one photo, export again. Notice that these settings stayed from the last export we just did, but the custom name has changed as well. So this is when, if this was a different project, I would change the project name at the end and reset the number, or it's going to continue wherever you left off. So in this case, it's still my name, dash macro, and the starting number is 6 since 1 through 5 has already been used. I'm going to go ahead and keep that, export one photo. Notice again that automatically that Lightroom saved photos folder pops up. I'm not going to change anything on the screen, select folder, and that image will also be saved, the Lightroom saved photos. And from here, you can edit these images in Photoshop if that's what you're needing to do, or you can turn them into teams. That's it.